All right, so I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Lower Stafford Township Board of Supervisors of Tuesday, December 30, 2025. Ask everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And as is typical with our meetings, we always have a public comment period at the beginning, one at the beginning, one at the end, and we'll do the same this evening. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to be recognized? Hearing no one, we'll move on to resolution 2025-40, authorizing execution of an agreement among the township, the estate of Martha Alabach and H&A Properties LP as an amendment to the agreement of sale for the purchase of the real estate located at 460 Stover Road. Consideration to adopt. And Andy, if you could just give us a little bit of background here so that everyone knows what we're up to this evening, that'd be great.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. I thought you might ask that question, so I put together a few little notes here on this agreement. So just as a refresher, on October 1st, the Board of Supervisors authorized the execution and entering into an agreement of sale for what we refer to as the Alabach property, which is approximately 62.65 acres. The address is 460 Stover Road. And I think the past couple of meetings, we described it for purposes of the recording and any public as the large open space tract along Main Street next to the Henning Shopping Center.
Indeed, we have.
So if acquired by the township under the original agreement of sale, the property would be used primarily for open space purposes. That agreement contains a number of contingencies. There's a title review period. There's a site investigation due diligence period. There's a financing contingency period that obviously allows the township the opportunity to find funding sources for the purchase price for the property. Like any other agreement of sale for real estate, the township as a buyer requires that title to the property be conveyed free and clear of certain encumbrances. In this transaction, one of the encumbrances that needs to be resolved relates to a right of first refusal to purchase the property that H&A Properties, who is the owner of the adjoining shopping center property, has said runs in their favor. In an effort to amicably resolve this title matter without delay and the uncertainties that are inherent in potential litigation and without jeopardizing the ability to ultimately acquire the property, H&A and the Alabach estate and the township entered into negotiations, which resulted in the tri-party agreement that's presently before the board for action. Just a summary of some of the key terms of that agreement for the board and for the public who are here. This tri-party agreement functions as an amendment to the originally approved agreement of sale that currently exists between the township and the Alabach estate. In summary, H&A under this tri-party agreement has the ability to acquire up to 2.5 acres to be merged with its existing shopping center property. And they have the right to seek approvals from the township to use that additional area for an expansion of the center to include a restaurant with a drive-through, an expanded area for a medical facility use. H&A is paying for this additional area at the per acre price that the township is paying under the agreement of sale. They have also agreed to pay any rollback tax that might be triggered in connection with this transaction. As a reminder, the Alabach State property is currently enrolled in Act 319 preferential assessment. In exchange, H&A has agreed to waive the right of first refusal and provide any documentation that the township's title insurance company may require to insure over that right of first refusal to make sure that the township is able to acquire title free and clear to the property. And just to be clear, the township will have the continued right to purchase the balance of the property, which amounts to approximately 60 acres, which would again be used for primarily open space purposes as stated in the original agreement of sale. Even if approved, I would say, as a reminder, this is just the beginning of the process here. We still would have to go through the due diligence site investigation period. The financing contingency would still remain in place, and we have the time to go through that. But I would think that this is a substantial step in furtherance of the transaction and eliminates this title objection that is required to be eliminated in order for this transaction to go through. So with that summary, I'm happy to answer any questions or if you have any comments. Now's the time.
Comments, questions, gentlemen?
For the purpose of the discussion, why don't we make the motion in a second, and then we can talk about it in that context. So I would make a motion to authorize resolution 2025-40.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Just as from a couple comments on this, first I want to call out 3 parties that were involved in this. I was involved pretty heavily with our attorney, Mr. Freemuth, and the team from Fox Rothschild for H&A, Mr. Landis on behalf of the Olive State. And I do believe that we should send them over down to Mar-a-Lago to maybe now negotiate the Ukrainian-Russian ceasefire, because they did an excellent job representing all parties, making sure all pieces were thought through. This is a relatively complex situation. Holly, if I may ask before I continue, there's some waiting to be admitted. Yep, no problem. And I think this is a very fair outcome for all of the items that were needed to be addressed. Obviously, as the township is buying this tract of ground, it does remove certain commercial properties from, okay, whichever Joe, I'll give Joe the nod off on that. That's fine. We don't want to have a repeat,
click the blue.
A repeat of some of the other things that we've had happen during a Zoom meeting. So I think this is a fair opportunity for H&A to reasonably continue to operate their commercial activity while us having the opportunity as a township to preserve the bulk of the property for its intended open space purchase, and it's a win across the board. So I want to thank all those parties for being able to come together. This was one of the hurdles that we knew would be a due diligence related item that overcoming this is a big step in the right direction. So
Agreed.
thank everybody for their participation and efforts on this.
I did have a few concerns that I just sent over via email, but for the public as well, there were just some of the concerns, not so much concern, but I urge the future of the board, if I can, whether we decide this or not, or the future board, to consider the barriers or buffers that we may have as we're having to have commercial space with our space. I was curious if we could put anything in there. I do agree with Mr. Canavan. I appreciate that we got this done. I was a little disappointed to see kind of how long it took, but I understand that everybody was advocating for each other's parties. I think that was a good way of putting it. And I hope this is a great resolution. I look forward to working with Mr. Canavan and seeing that we can push the referendum to make this a real possibility. I think this is great for the township and hopefully the First Amendment.
I echo Chris's thoughts. Thank you to all the parties involved. It's great to have the community come together and work together on this project. So thank you, and thank you, Andy.
Thanks for all the hard work. Appreciate it. With that, we're moved and seconded. I'll ask for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Next up, motion to authorize the township manager at his or her discretion may provide a lump sum payment to a non-uniformed exempt employee in their retirement year who opts out of the township health insurance program in the amount of the employee's health insurance premium.
I'd like you to say that 3 times faster.
I think one's enough. And Joe, if you want to elicit just a little more information on this, it'd be great.
In particular, this is happening with employees retiring in the year 2026.
Happy New Year.
We'll be taking Medicare and not taking townships healthcare program, which they are entitled to.
Okay.
And as such, giving them the benefit of the premium without taking it, and assisting with them with their Medicare Part D, F, G.
Supplements. Got it.
I would make a motion to authorize.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Last up, to consider and take action on other matters that may properly come before the board.
There are none.
If I could just make the announcement, as Mr. Shelley alluded to, as we were both leaving the board, our next act, we will be working together over the course of this winter to spring, prior to the May primary, supporting this board's initiative for the open space tax. We're forming a committee. We've got a bunch of people who are already very excited about doing it from our other boards and commissions in the township, so that we have appropriate information out there so that the right information is being conveyed about what this is. And we have a very successful outcome, presumably in May, with adopting that additional quarter point on the earned income tax, so we can afford to make these types of investments in our long-term future, not just for this property, but for potentially other properties in the down the road.
The
So,
more support, the better.
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, so with that, is there any other public comment? Anyone wishing to be recognized? Seeing none, Andy, we'll take a motion over.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.